Hello everybody, it's Stuart A. Swordlow.
And Janet Diane Moria Swordlow.
And this is the Expansions.com podcast for news for the very last week in February 2013.
Well, hard to believe February's over.
And,
Just about.
And if it ever stops snowing, I'll be able to leave, actually the day they watch this podcast. Well, when you're watching this podcast, I will either be on my way to Ireland or stuck in an airport lounge in O'Hare Airport. So either way, I won't be here.
Hopefully, you'll be on your way.
So, what can I tell you this week? First of all, the media has been reporting continuously, of course, about that meteor that struck the Russian territory. But of course, they are saying that the meteor exploded in mid-air and that there are no pieces of it, except for very tiny ones, which they say prove that it is a normal meteor that flies around the solar system. But people, meteors do not explode in mid-air. Maybe if it was a comet, it would have exploded. But this was not a comet. Meteors and asteroids do not explode in mid-air. Something made it explode. And as I mentioned to you, I believe last time, there is evidence in the videos of that meteor that something struck it and made it explode. And also that big round hole they found in the ice by the lake. Well, guess what? The divers went in there and there's nothing under the lake.
At least nothing they're telling us.
Well.
But I want to also add to this before you go too far, because interestingly enough now, there are a team of astronomers at the University of Hawaii that because of this close shave, they want to develop an early warning system to alert people for asteroids and meteors. So what are they going to do?
This is the system. Hey everybody, a meteor's coming! Watch out! I just invented it.
Yeah, but isn't that just the craziest thing? I mean, what good is that going to do?
I want them to do what they did in that movie where Bruce Willis and his team went up to the asteroid and planted a charge and blew it up. And then saved the world.
Yeah, but the thing is, this is ridiculous. It's obviously being developed for another purpose.
Well, of course it's being developed for another purpose, but I want to continue and say that the witnesses in Russia said that when the thing exploded, it shone like 10 suns and it was blinding. That is not how things blow up in the sky, people. That is some kind of a blast, some kind of a very big blast. And meteors, they don't, pieces like that just don't fall on buildings and crush buildings like that happen and injure thousands of people. So something's going on with that, people. Now, can I go on to this other news here?
You may.
That is the Pope, or I should say the Vatican, denies the rumors that there is a gay subgroup in the Vatican that's forcing the Pope to resign. They say it is a vicious, unverifiable report, but of course it confirms that there is blackmail, and it goes back to what I told you several weeks ago, the butler did it.
Yeah, you told everybody that there was blackmail going on, and now basically this is coming out in the media.
Yeah, and look, there's a lot of stuff coming up, and I do promise you when I go to Italy, if I ever do get out of the Midwest, if it stops snowing, yes, I will find out in Italy. And like I say, I think my name's on the short list for Pope. And guess what? I think it's on the short list for Prime Minister of Italy.
Wow.
Yes, I think
so. That means I'll get my citizenship.
No, I means I will create a new Roman Empire, and I will be the emperor. North Korea, that lovely little place next to China, has threatened the United States and South Korea with complete destruction if joint military exercises between the U.S. and South Korea take place between March 1st and April 30th. So we just have a little bit of time before we know if they're going to destroy the United States.
Well, there's all kinds of things going on out there.
Those North Koreans, Kim Jong-un, and of course his father, Kim Jong, mentally ill. And my final story, which I think everybody is going to be moving to Colorado, because, as you know, Colorado did make marijuana legal for any purpose. And now they are saying they are going to decriminalize adultery So it's okay to cheat and it's not illegal.
Hey, the sex stories are my stories.
So, well, wait a second.
You're
So,
getting on my territory
excuse me,
now.
I am
My
speaking.
territory.
That means you can go to Colorado, get high, and fool around, and it's legal. That's why they call Denver the Mile High City. It's not because of the altitude, it's because everybody's high.
Yeah, because they're fooling around out there.
Yeah, Colorado.
Well, this kind of falls on my thing,
Rocky Mountain High.
I didn't have this in my news, but since you brought this up, what's the name of the porn star that has been in and out of the hospital? Ron? Jeff?
Oh, I know who you mean, but I can't remember his name.
I can't.
He was always in competition with me. Yeah. He was just very nasty.
But the interesting thing is, it's like you never heard of this guy. Now all of a sudden he's in the hospital. Now he's got his clearance to have sex. I mean, it's like, again, who cares? If you have heard of this,
he cares.
But they're putting this all over the news for
plus,
everybody.
did you see what he looks like?
Well, that's not the point.
Keep your clothes on, Buster.
The point is that this is all over the news. So it's interesting now that Colorado is doing this. So.
Yeah, well, maybe he should move to Colorado. Everything's legal.
Maybe he already lives in Colorado for all we know. All right, is it my turn?
Yeah, it's your turn.
All right, since you had the sex stories, I get the other stories.
I didn't have any poop stories.
Well, we had Pope stories. That's close enough.
Yeah, that's true. Same
Poop,
thing.
Pope, what's the difference?
Poop, what, same thing?
That's what
He's
I
a
thought.
piece.
A piece of poop?
Yes, I don't say that.
That's
it's
a tongue
worse,
twister. The
actually.
Pope is a piece of poop.
He's a piece of something.
Okay. Now, there's a story that was actually first released back in December 2011 that they're putting back out again for you, and that is scientists from Arizona State University are proposing that they closely examine high-resolution photographs of the moon that were retrieved by the Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter because they're saying these photos may reveal, quote, incontrovertible signatures of non-human technology.
Really?
They're arguing that this project is worthwhile and could be accomplished with a small budget. Now, this story was originally put out in December of 2011, and they're putting that out again. So they're, again, keeping this in front of the public that there are other things going on the moon. All right? Now, I do have a zombie story for you as well, because, zombies are not going away, obviously.
No, because they're dead. They're immortal.
Apparently. So now the zombie cells have been created in a New Mexico lab that are saying to outperform the living cells.
You mean they actually have zombie cells?
Yes, and those are better than living. So now that's what they're telling you. If you're dead, that's better than if you're alive. These are near-perfect replicas of mammalian cells that can perform many of the same functions despite the fact that they're not actually alive. How can
so
that
they're
be?
not real. They were made.
They're human-made, supposedly. But it says instead of pursuing and eating people, these experimental cells may someday, I'll put that in quotes, someday do our bidding. For example, they might be used in commercial applications ranging from sensors to catalysts to fuel cells. So, but they're putting this forward for you. Now, I also wanted to remind you about the Mindy McCready's death, which I think was very sad.
That was very sad.
She did go
They really just pushed her over the limit.
They did. But she also goes off and leaves two very young children. I think their youngest is only 10 months old.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing about this, if I have to pull it all together, is apparently she's the 5th cast member of a television show, which I've never seen, but obviously it's out there. It's called Celebrity Rehab. So,
I've heard of it.
So what is going on out there that these people are dying? So to me, it's obviously some kind of sacrifice. That's what I'm going to label it.
Yeah.
So it's
I liked her music.
Yeah, 5th cast member. It's all very sad.
Yes.
Then...
And she shot her dog.
Yeah, because she didn't feel that it could be... she didn't want to leave the dog.
So if I take everybody with me, I take you with
That's
me.
enough. That's enough. We don't even want to go there because it's not funny. Okay. All right, now... The other thing that I have been talking to you about, which again, this is a new thing they're bringing up, and they're not letting this thing die either, is slavery. Because if you remember, I reported not too long ago about a girls' school in Britain, I think it was the Queen Elizabeth School, that had given a business plan on if they were slave owners in Africa. And that had upset some people at that time. And a lot of things are going on here, and again, this is divide and conquer, so you want to keep that in mind. There is a school in Alabama, a kindergarten class that actually put children up and auctioned them off to be slaves during a class lesson. Now, first of all, in kindergarten,
that can't be right.
No, it was a black child and a black mother who was very upset about this.
Sure.
And of course, the teacher said she didn't mean to offend; it was just a lesson. But the slavery issue is not going away. And also, we learned in Mississippi that this was still on the books that slavery was allowed and was never ratified, and that was just recently ratified in Mississippi. So.
Well, Alabama, Mississippi.
Right, but
Need I say more?
But the point is, which I'm going to bring out to our readers, remember they're putting blacks up there as slaves. First of all through history, people have used other people for slaves. It's not just a black-white issue. To me, they're trying to continue to keep everybody divided using whatever issue they can find. This is a race issue.
See, all I need is elves to do some of the work
I'll
around
take
here.
elves.
I don't need slaves, just elves.
Elves will work. Now, the next thing, this is the last story, but I think it's the most interesting story. This is now going all over the internet about celestial sounds and cosmic tunes. They're saying that you can actually hear the universe and that the universe has color.
Especially in Colorado.
Yeah, especially Colorado. Well, this is, of course, what we've been talking about, color, tone, and archetype for how long, how many years since we've been together, and beyond, before that even, we did it on our own. So following on that, we have a person, let's see if I have his name here, Harbison. I didn't apparently write.
Here it is, yeah.
If I don't have the first name. He's a 30-year-old man who was born colorblind. He now has a cybernetic device, which he calls his antenna, which allows him to listen to color. And that's what I tell people.
Because it's a frequency.
That's how I hear. I hear in color, and that's what I teach people when they come to our classes, is how to hear in color. So anyway, he's talking about how the cybernetic device converts light into higher or lower pitched tones that he hears through bone conduction, which is interesting. He said that it's like going to an art gallery, is like going to a concert, because he looks at food in a whole new way. He says, now I can display the food on a plate, this is a quote, so I can eat my favorite song.
Okay, he's a little bit out there.
Well, but he's still putting things out there that we've been talking about.
I mean, if I hear stuff on my plate, I'm not eating it.
Well, we never know about what's going on in the world. But this fellow is an artist. He's also co-founder of the Cyborg Foundation. And he argues...
how many times have I told you to turn your cell phone off when we do a podcast? You know
Well,
what? If we did this in a seminar and people in the audience, we would yell at them.
Yeah, we would. So it's my fault. Anyway, he argues that the technology can endow humans with an endless number of senses and abilities that expand what they feel and consequently what they know about the world. And while some speculate about the possibility of a sixth sense,
I have more than that.
Well, of course, he's saying that we can attain a 13th or 14th sense.
Oh, there's hundreds, millions.
And he said when he got his electric eye, because he originally was colorblind, this is apparently supposedly what started it, he didn't want to block any senses. So instead of blocking his ability to hear, he decided to hear colors through his bone conduction, which was an entirely new sense.
Wait, he wasn't deaf though, was he?
No, but he was blind, colorblind actually.
But he could still see.
He could still see. He says now with his sensor, he can perceive ultraviolet, which is a color birds and insects perceive. He hears through bone conduction, such as dolphins do. And he says we can acquire senses that let us perceive, for example, where north is, like sharks, or improve our sense of smell.
So basically, he's a prototype for a new superhuman that will be in production in a few years.
And it's all based, when you think about it, and I talk often about the multidimensionality of the God mind and how it thinks and sees and hears, and how every cell is actually an intelligence, every cell sees, every cell hears. They're really going to do this with technology because this focuses you to the outside versus the inside, which is where we take people. So as soon as people start bringing this kind of information in, they want to take it so that somebody has control of you. So you don't have control of your own mind, you're dependent on a device, and of course somebody's going to be controlling that device, and most likely it's not going to be you. But you won't think to go inside because you're too busy with your outside world.
Wow.
So anyway, I just thought, that's interesting. And the last little tidbit I'm going to throw at you is that now they're saying dolphins can call each other by name, which again goes back into this color, tone, and archetype frequency.
Like splashy, flappy.
There you go.
Beepy.
Jumpy.
Yeah.
But anyway, so they're continuing to bring this forth, but in a way that they're controlling. So I would say that if you haven't made your plans yet, you want to get here to our spring conference. Are you alienated in an alien nation living without fear? because that is the topic of our spring conference, which is coming up the end of April. Check out our website for that one, because I do know that seats are filling up and I do expect it to be sold out. So that's our April conference. In June, we have our big Bosnia conference coming up, where we're going to be taking you to the pyramids. And
I think the pre-tour is sold out already.
the pre-tour, I don't think it's quite, but I know it's filling. Almost. So keep contact
people.
Patricia, events at expansions.com. And you, my friend, are going to the UK.
I hope I get out of here. It's like,
We're planning
every time I wake up, there's another warning.
Which will be March 2nd and 3rd, and you will have time for
consultations if I get there.
When you get there, let's be positive.
Yes, and I will even be in Italy.
For your Pope.
Just outside of Trieste, so I'll be free in the evenings for consultations.
Yeah.
And I will be passing through Holland just one night. It's not even.
What happens though when you get elected? Do they give you the Pope robes, or do you have to buy them yourself?
Because I don't want to wear like the robe from those old guys. It's
you want your own.
Kind of creepy. Yeah.
How about the bigger hat?
I like the hat.
That would show up well on the podcast.
Yeah, I like some of the scarves they wear. That's really cool.
Those are
And
nice.
I like walking around with that hook thing.
Could I have one of those?
No,
If you become Pope, am I Popess?
You could be Popette. You're a little Popette. Hello.
A puppet Popette.
Yeah, and when I become Emperor of the new Roman Empire, I have to come up with a new, Emperor Stuvius the First or
That
something
sounds good.
like that.
I like that. We'll work on that one, though. We'll let people know what we find out.
Yeah.
And you'll be in Iceland March 12th
And
to the 15th.
I'll be in Iceland. And I'm meeting with some important people in Iceland.
Yeah?
Yeah.
More important than the Pope?
They would think so.
Maybe. Are you going to wear your hats and your robes and your hook thing?
No, I have to wear my Viking hat there.
Okay,
Except
that
this
makes
keep
sense.
changing. That's why I only carry carry-on. In my carry-on is a Pope robe and a Viking hat. That's all I
How
have.
about a wooden bowl? Because I don't think that they had silverware and things. I think you had to carry your own in those times.
What, in the Viking time?
I think so.
No, you just raided a town and got
your own?
silverware and
stuff?
and plates and stuff like that. Whatever you need, you just go raid and you get it.
Well, take your bag with you to the important people dinner so that you can put all the stuff in.
Yeah.
Important people dinner, put your stuff in it.
Yeah. Well, I will be at the U.S. Embassy there, so
All right.
I'm sure they have plates.
They may. But you can have your bag and put them in. Bring me a souvenir.
Yeah, I'll take some stuff from the embassy, but But anyway, that's it for. I probably won't see you till the end of March.
Yeah, it won't be so much fun doing the news without you.
You'll have more fun. You will have more fun because I won't interrupt you so much.
Yeah. Maybe I'll have Natasha sit
Maybe
here.
it'll stop snowing by then. Oh yeah, you should have.
I'll have Natasha sit here and she'll talk to
Yeah,
us.
Natasha would love it. She was very naughty today, and I had to yell at her, so she's not talking.
What
to
did
me.
she do?
She knocked down one of the wall decorations because I didn't open the door fast enough for her. So she gets spiteful and knocks things down and does things.
So you are well trained by your dog.
Yes, but I yelled at her, so now she's not speaking to me. Well, that's just fine.
Well, it's a good thing you're leaving then, so you both can cool off.
Yeah, she'll miss me. I'm sure I'll get an email from her.
Probably.
Anyway, this is Stuart A. Swerdlow.
And Janet Diane Moria Swerdlow.
And signing off until next time. Bye.
Bye-bye.